Prior to 1900, when women went out, they were generally escorted, give or take a few years from that date. After 1900, again, take a couple of years here or there, women began to go out unescorted. They would shop, they would go to school, college, volunteer work. And there's one item that led to this that men did not have, but women did. And it kind of contributed to their suffrage movement, starting in the 19 single numbers and culminating in the 1920s. This item men did not have, but women did. And that item, believe it or not, is the hat pin. And here we have a number of hat pins. One of them is 1890s. The rest of them are 19 single numbers. And I'll pull them out and put them out here. I'm going to move this a little bit back here. One of them is a little shorter, so I have a little donut on it to hold in this. This is an actual 19 single numbers Northwood carnival glass. Because if you had a hat pin, you had to have a hat pin holder. So these hat pins here, over here and to the right, are all sterling silver. Now the actual pin here is not, but up here is sterling. So these are all marked Charles Horner, the maker, and they're, as I said, sterling silver. So they're hallmarked 1907. This one here is probably 1890s. It is marked, but it is brass. But I can't find who the maker is. And this one is a monogrammed one. Probably can't get it. But it's monogrammed ML and is brass also, but there's no maker's mark. These are very difficult to find. So, why did this contribute to a woman's independence? Because before 1900, when a woman went out escorted, she had a male with her, and other men would leave that woman alone. Well, all of a sudden, women were going out alone, and some of the not so nice men would bother them. So what the woman did was take out her hat pin, and most of these were 8 or 9 inches long, and look at those points, and she took out her hat pin, and soon enough these men got the point. Leave us alone. And this was very important. As you could see, that could be quite a formidable weapon. And some of these men died. They got stabbed too deeply, or they got blood poisoning, and they died. Another problem with these hat pins was, of course, when you have a hat pin, you put it through the hat, and since women wore their hair at that time up on top of their head, very long hair, you had enough hair to secure the hat by piercing the hat with the point, making sure you got a good bit of hair, and piercing the other side of the hat with 1, 2, 3, or sometimes 4 hat pins, depending upon how big the hat was. But unfortunately, this pin here stuck out, and if a woman bent over to pick something up or tie her shoe, and she got up and it was a crowded trolley or a crowded area, she could poke someone with this innocently. Child or an adult, or if she turned around really fast, she forgot something, she could poke someone. So there was legislation to limit the size of these pins. But that's not what got rid of them. What got rid of them was, after World War I, how hairstyles changed to more of a bob or short hair, and the hat could sit exactly right on the head, and hat pins became obsolete. So women destroyed them, or if they were precious metal, they would make them into a brooch or a necklace, or have the metal melted down. So by the time these women died and these hatpins were put into estates, they had no value, and they threw them away. Except, of course, precious metal, which they would, as I said, make into other jewelry or have it melted down. So these are hard to find. There's a lot of fakes, a lot of reproductions. One way of telling a real one, if I could get really close, is this is the pin here, and this is the head, and this is what joins them. This is called a finding, and that finding is always part of the head. It's one piece, and then it's crimped to the pin here. If it's glued, or if it's soldered, or if this is another piece, like a third piece, 1, 2, 3, it's a fake. And these are all part. Some of them are pretty elaborate, like that Charles Horner 1907's. This part is the silver. This is just steel. I'm not sure if that's real amethyst or citrine. I think it's glass. So this was really part of a woman's fashion back then. But it also could be a little dangerous. In fact, there were articles in the newspaper about that menace of the hatpins, and there were songs in advertisements to women: "Don't leave your house without your hatpin." Thanks for watching.